On Wednesday, former Arkansas Governor Mike Huckabee joined Herschel Walker on the campaign trail in Georgia. Huckabee, a conservative former preacher turned politician, urged Peach State voters to back the football legend in the runoff election. Walker faces incumbent Democratic Senator Raphael Warnock after both men failed to reach 50% in the general election that occurred last week. Huckabee, like Walker, is a political ally of former President Trump, who announced his third bid for the presidency earlier this week. His daughter, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, is governor-elect in Arkansas, where Huckabee served for over 10 years as governor.
I'll tell you what, I don't know what in the world I am doing here. I'm stuffed between two absolute champions, Riley Gaines and Herschel Walker. Is she not an amazing young lady with courage and grit? What a delight to see Riley Gaines. She was on my television show a few weeks ago. I already had admiration for her, having learned about the fact that she had stood up for women's sports, stood up for herself and for all the females who are out there competing, disciplining themselves to be champions, only to have some guy step in and pretend that he is one of them, and he's not. And it just was so refreshing to see Riley, who decided that she will be silent no more, and she would take on this injustice that's happening to women across the country. But she is a true champion, and I'm so glad to be able to be here with her. Now, in a moment, you're going to be introduced to another true champion. And that's why I said, why am I here? I mean, in junior high, I realized that I was never going to be a great athlete. I was never going to quarterback the Dallas Cowboys to a Super Bowl. These days, I'm not sure anybody else is either, but by gosh, I knew it wasn't going to be me. And I know there's not a person out here in this wonderful crowd, how grateful we are that you're here. Not a person came to hear me. So I will tell you what Taylor Swift told her last boyfriend. I won't keep you long. Truth is, I'm here in part for Herschel, but I'm also here because I absolutely am a huge fan of Julie, his absolutely amazing wife. Julie, I'm not sure where you are back here, but give her a big hand because she has been such a tremendous support to Herschel. Folks, let me just be very clear. I'm here because this race matters to every person in America who cares about the future of our great country and does not want to see someone like Raphael Warnock continue to push his pro-abortion, pro-big tax, pro-big government agenda on the rest of us. And I love these signs out here that say eviction, final notice. He has been really, really good at evicting people out of a very tough housing situation that he should have taken much better care of and should have been much more compassionate to the people who were paying good money for a horrible place that he did not take care of. And he then had the audacity to evict many of them. So it's turnabout time that the people of Georgia will evict him from his Senate office that he should never have had in the first place. There's a reason that I love Herschel. First of all, Riley said it. She called him a person who was genuine. My favorite word about somebody is authentic. He is who he is. He has been the kind of person who has stood against extraordinary pressure, all kinds of ridiculous accusations. But he's never returned those accusations with anger and hostility. He's never made it about himself. In everything I have seen with Herschel, he has made it about you. He has made it about the people that don't have a voice. He's made it about the people who may not have his celebrity or his athletic ability, but they have a love of this country. He has made it about the people whose voices are not being heard, and he will be the voice for those people. There is not a doubt in my mind. I'm here because I know that when an issue comes up involving the sanctity of human life, I don't have to worry that Herschel will wring his hands and take a poll and ask his staff, what should I do? Because we know what Herschel is going to do. He is a person who believes that every single human life has worth and value. He doesn't believe anybody is worthless, expendable, disposable. He believes that the child with Down syndrome is equally valuable in the eyes of Almighty God as is the captain of the football team, and he will fight for the right of every human life without questioning it. That's why I believe that you've come today. Folks, if I could vote in Georgia, I would. I can't. I've already cast my vote in Arkansas for a young lady that I'm kind of glad she got elected. People have said, I know you're proud of your daughter. I said, yeah, but I'm not objective. I'm as objective about my daughter as the Atlanta Constitution newspaper is about Herschel Walker, but in a very different way. He has stood against an onslaught of every kind of nasty political trick. And you know what I love about him? He doesn't just keep standing, he keeps smiling. He knows who he is. He knows who God made him to be. He has confidence not just in who he is, but in where he's going. And it is that kind of stability and that kind of absolute moral certainty that I believe every state ought to have in a U.S. senator. Georgia deserves that. And the only way you'll have it is if you get your friends, your family, your co-workers, and your neighbors to make sure they vote for Herschel between now and December the 6th. May I just tell you something? If you get on the phone and start calling your friends and they say, well, I hadn't voted yet, I don't know if it'll make any difference. You tell them it sure will make a difference. And tell them that you'll take them to go vote. You'll drive up to their house, and you don't tell them they're voting. You tell them you're going to take them to dinner. And you drive up to their house, and when they get in the car, you toss a bologna sandwich in the back seat, and you tell them, eat quick, we go vote in 5 minutes. Now, if you find somebody who says they're not going to vote for Herschel Walker, first of all, scratch them off. They're not right. They're not right in the head. But secondly, tell them that the election has been postponed until January, and there's no need for them to go after all. Folks, please make sure that just like this champion that came before me came to stand for Herschel Walker, make sure that you stand with one of the greatest champions the state of Georgia ever produced. You saw him when he took the dogs to number 1. Thanks for rubbing it into this Razorback. But I'm okay with it. I don't disrespect or dislike the Georgia dogs. I really don't. Only LSU do I disgustly despise. That's it. Georgia, good people. In part because you've got a great tradition and great fans. But in part because the greatest Georgian to ever play the game is going to be your next senator. Please welcome